are here.
And we're live.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to enable screen sharing.
Okay, got it. We got this.
Thanks.
Oh, I don't want to share my screen. I want to let you share yours.
Yeah, Mama.
So, if you knew what it took for us to get to this place, you would be so proud of us.
It's been about 2 hours. It's been around.
No, let's not talk about the fact that like we've screwed this up so many times. But guess what, guys? Like we've figured it out, so you don't have to.
Yeah.
Woo! You're welcome.
We're doing the heavy lifting right now.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Where's my blueberry? Okay.
Okay. All right. So this is episode 5. As you are kind of following along, you will see that the first 4 episodes, we were unsuccessful in filming these with video. So you will be, if you're listening to this on YouTube, the first 4 episodes, you didn't really get to see our faces.
Okay.
Sorry.
But now you do get to see the behind the scenes. You got to see the BTS of how we outline our podcasts and all that. So it's exciting nonetheless.
It is exciting. So, Nicole, start us off here. We are going to just dive right in. Oh, well, okay. I guess we need to,
Polly, I just thought of a good way to like reframe this whole thing.
Okay, what is it?
You and I are getting either at or very close to our ideal weights at the time of taping.
Okay, yeah. What else?
We're super healthy. Like, I'm just saying it's better than like one good thing is that we're finally showing up on camera at our best.
Oh, there you go. Oh, you're looking on the bright side right now.
I'm trying. Remember you told me I should do a happy dance? Like, I'm trying to.
I understand what you're doing now. Okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh, what? I absolutely love that outlook.
Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
Yeah,
That's what I need to know.
I need some dang chapstick. I don't have any. Yeah.
Okay, where is your gain at? Mine is at about 11 o'clock.
I'm not gonna survive this. Oh yes, there's some in this random bag.
Hey, where's your gain at? Is it at 11 o'clock? That's the thing.
Yeah, but I actually was supposed to turn it down until like 10. Okay, there you go. I'm turning mine down a little bit. I was instructed to turn mine down.
Okay.
All right, boo. Okay.
Polly, you know what's really exciting? Do you know what's really exciting? We have a tech team.
Oh my gosh, we have a team and it's coming together and I'm just loving it.
Okay, so
hallelujah.
One of the most important parts of getting this business, motherhood, household management, wife life, like all the things managed is delegation. And so we're going to talk about that today on our episode. But with no further ado, let's launch our actual podcast recording. So when you're ready, Polly. Are you?
I'm ready, but you are you're welcoming us in. So are you seeing that?
Oh.
Are you seeing what I'm showing you?
I'm actually seeing what you're showing, yeah.
Okay, all right.
So hopefully this will all translate. So let's start recording now.
Thank you.
So it is recording, but we're going to give George, our technician, a clap. Okay?
Technician, that's what we're calling him. Let's call him something a little classier.
I mean, he's the technician on this, but he is our... Do you know what he is?
What is
George, you are our content producer and manager.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Are you feeling good about that?
I love that. That sounds way better than technician. Like, come on, let's give the man the credit he deserves.
I mean, part of his role is technician, so.
Okay,
I did not intend.
You've got job title and then capabilities.
Responsibilities, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, anyway. George, you're awesome, and you serve us wonderfully as our content manager and creator. Your role as podcast technician is freaking stellar.
Yeah, you're the best. Okay.
Welcome to episode 5. This is where we discuss the H in our plan to help you get your S.H dot T-I
Can you spell?
dot T together dot.
Mhm.
And the H is home management. So if you missed it, make sure you go back to the previous episode 4, where we talk about the S in SHIT, self-restoration.
Mhm.
So home management, where do we begin, Polly?
Declutter your life.
Okay. Yes, definitely decluttering. I can remember just one time where I took some serious advice from a serious declutterer,
This
and it
sounds
literally
serious.
changed my life.
Okay.
Okay, definitely decluttering. Declutter the stuff, the schedule, and the mind. The why behind decluttering, you've got to do that before you can manage the home. It's not going to happen overnight, but you can do small daily things to make a huge difference. For example, your most frequented area. Little bursts of action create a ton of momentum, and that's what we're all about. And I learned this from Dave Ramsey. He teaches, when he talks about tackling debt, not going out after the debt with the highest interest, which is actually costing you the most money, but the greatest value is to go after the thing that's going to give you the most momentum. So if you have a little area that you can start with, whether it be in your mind or in your home or in your schedule, you can start to feel that momentum.
I think I love that. And I think when it comes to decluttering, it's so easy. The biggest reason why you want to start with decluttering, and like we said, the stuff, the schedule, and the mind. When all that is cluttered, you feel overwhelmed, and it is so hard for you to like make any progress. So like just today I wrote a list down because I was like, you know what, it's time for me to do a little decluttering. And I wrote a list down and I just made check boxes of each individual area and I just hung it on my fridge. And what I'm going to do is exactly that. When I've got a burst of time, I'm going to go to that one specific area. One of them was just a junk drawer, an area that small. So you can start with areas that little and declutter. And there is so, I mean, when we say declutter, like we literally mean declutter. Like go watch, what's the lady's name?
The
Joy.
Fly Lady?
Not the fly lady, but the lady, Marie, whatever, Kondo,
Condo.
you think you're crap. Like I've done that and it literally is awesome. I mean, it is so great to go through like your dressers, your closets, just cupboards, crap, like everything needs to have a place, you know. And decluttering that before, you know, before you really try to tackle home management is going to be so helpful.
So you mentioned that this makes you overwhelmed, and I just want to interject that as moms and just women in general, sometimes our overwhelm, it can be a slow burn. Like it can be this underlying thing that's like stubborn, but it's the thing that makes you explode when you don't know why. You know, it's the thing that keeps you on edge, and you just have this underlying just discontent. And so nipping it in the bud and managing it, because things like hormones are going to take effect, like PMS is going to come, things are going to happen that are going to affect your mood. If you can erase that underlying cause or that condition, you're just going to operate more smoothly. You're going to feel more successful, all of that. So I just wanted to kind of give some background and some motivation to wanting to do this.
Yes. Another, I feel like I just want to mention this, but one thing that you'll find about people who are tidy, because people can have like really clean homes, but they can have really cluttered homes. Like there's a difference between having a clean home and a cluttered home. And people who are not cluttered are really tidy. And one of the tips that I have as being a tidy person is you're constantly like tidying up. So like for example, if I'm walking across the living room and I see a couple things on the floor that need to go upstairs, I set them on the stairs. And then, you know, an hour later when I actually go up the stairs, I take them up with me, you know, and like you're constantly like kind of picking up after yourself, making just tidying up areas, making sure things stay clean, taking 5 minutes to clean throughout the day here and there, versus just like letting it all go. And anyway, that is
letting
neither
it get
here nor
away
there.
from you.
Yeah, yes. Letting it get away from you. So
it's like the difference between cooking and making a huge mess and waiting till the end to clean it up, or cleaning it up as you go.
As you go. Exactly. That is like the perfect example. I mean, that's exactly, and that's what I do because I'm a tidy person.
So you know, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to
just so you know,
sum it up, articulate it.
Nicole's really good at that. Anyway, so decluttering. This episode is not about decluttering. We're going to talk about home management.
Shocker.
But that's where you need to start. Okay. So, but the next thing we want to kind of talk about, and one thing that I highly, highly recommend doing when managing a home, is having family meetings. I'm all about the meetings, and it's something to be really, really consistent in. And so just to kind of give you an idea of what a family meeting might look like, I actually got this from Positive Discipline, Positive Parenting. And it's something that I super, super love, is you do it once a week. You go on Sunday nights is a great night to do it. Because that's, to me, Monday is the start of the week. So Sunday night you meet, and here's kind of what it looks like. You basically have an agenda that you keep on the fridge, and when problems arise during the week that you need to address, you actually write them down on the agenda as items to discuss. And then when you do the meeting, this is kind of how it runs. First, you do the meeting, everybody gives each other compliments because that just makes you feel good. Okay. When you go and have a meeting with somebody, like, I love you first before you talk about the problems, right?
You did that to me today, just FYI.
FYI, I laid it down with Nicole in a very loving way.
You tell me you loved me first.
Yeah. Nicole, I love you, and I need to tell you something. So you come together for your family meeting, you do these compliments, and then you discuss any problems, and then you talk about the week's schedule, which this is super important because if I'm not connecting with my husband on his schedule during the week, and we were just talking about this the other day, we need to do better at not having last minute stuff come up. There will be times when it'll be like Thursday, I'm like, oh yeah, I was having a girls' night. Oh yeah, I have an appointment. Oh yeah, don't forget about this. So starting on Sunday, going through the whole week, looking at the schedule. And when I say discussing problems, I mean from a parenting standpoint. For example, your kid has an issue with, unloading the dishwasher. You kind of talk about the problem or something and then try to find solutions around it. So that way, later in the week when it comes up, you have a solution you can point back to. So that's kind of what I mean about discussing problems. But having a Sunday night meeting is amazing. And I always recommend ending it with an activity and a treat or something. You could go out for ice cream or stay home, make brownies or do whatever. But I always recommend kind of making it fun, especially if you have younger kids at home. Doing the compliment thing and an activity and a treat at the end is really fun. But if that sounds like too much to you, just if you can at least meet and just talk about the next week's schedule on Sunday night, that is ideal.
Yeah. All the Pinteresty things, those are extra credit.
Yeah, that's extra credit. If you're an 11 on a scale of 1 to 10, like I am, then there you go.
Polly is extra credit, FYI, everyone. So,
yeah, I'm extra.
Here's the thing. You can just lower your standards to where I'm at, or you can have them super high where Polly is. But if you land anywhere in between that, you're winning. So that is
absolutely. I want to pat you on the back right now.
Aw, thanks.
We're a spectrum.
We are. And so as long as you're in our spectrum, you're winning.
We're in a spectrum of awesome to extra.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, it starts at awesome.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. You're saying I'm awesome, so I'm into it.
Yes, I am. I'm saying you're awesome.
Thank you. Okay. So let's talk about my favorite thing. I talk about it all the time. It is, drumroll please.
Yeah, I love this thing that she's about to talk about. I do it, just so you know. I don't know how to do that.
Big 5. The big
The
five.
big five.
Okay. This is great for every age. Okay.
Legit.
Any age that can follow instructions to any degree, this will work. So whether they're 15 or they're 2, you can do the big five. And remember, the big five starts at 5. You can graduate. But just getting the 5 in is a huge accomplishment. So set the bar low, celebrate your wins, and let's introduce your children to rhythm in their lives because it is so important for them. They crave structure, but at the same time, it gives them some independence and a guideline to follow so they can have some routine. So there is a level of routine and consistency and what they can expect paired with a little bit of independence that allows them to have some license and some choice. So let's talk about what this looks like. What you're going to do, super basic, you're going to pick 5 things for your kids to do on their own. And this is at a very basic level. So you can literally start like this with your 15-year-old and you can start like this with your 5-year-old. You can really pick any categories and make them your own, but here are some examples. So the first thing would be hygiene items. So brushing your teeth, brushing your hair, and getting dressed. Those are the 3 things that my kids do as their first thing in the big 5. Now, if you have littles and they can only do so many things on their own, you can actually break those into, so let's say 2 of those things they can do themselves. You've already got 2 out of your 5. You're winning. Yay. So another thing is a chore, like emptying the dishwasher or taking out the trash or making their bed, something really, really simple. Picking up toys, things like that. The other can be something as basic as feeding the body. And you'll hear us talk about it. Polly is really a big proponent of this, is caring for ourselves so that we can care for others. And so when you teach children the culture and the repetition of nurturing and caring for their body with food, you can also give yourself permission to do the same. Another thing is feeding the spirit. So whether that be Bible time or maybe a special time for them to just have quiet time. We have a time in our house that we learned from Bible Study Fellowship. If you guys don't know what that is, look it up, BibleStudyFellowshipInternational.org. But basically they have like a program, and in that program they have a quiet time. And so the children can choose to just be quiet. It's not a time that they sleep, but in your own home, you can even have nap time. Fill in this time. And if your kids don't take a nap, they can have this quiet time where they just sit and maybe talk to God or think about things, or maybe even read a book. Another one is a chance to feed the mind. So my children do every single day, they do language development. So they're learning Spanish. And so that is something that they do. They do their Rosetta Stone on their computer. And so that feeds their mind. And then also like nurturing a skill. So my kids every day practice piano, and their piano teacher has given them homework, but the repetition of practicing a skill or something that they enjoy, just, you guys, as you see the progress in your children and you see them doing a little bite size every single day, the impact that consistency makes, it inspires you as a woman and a mom and a worker to take the same action, to give a little bit every day, and that has a compounding effect that really leads to success and a sense of accomplishment. And so instilling that in your children young, which I wish my parents had done, now it's really hard as an adult to learn that, make that the motivation that you would stick to it so that they can learn this discipline and the freedom that comes from having a routine and feeling accomplished.
Oh, I friggin' love the big 5. When Nicole first told me about the big 5, I was like, oh, I think I'm going to implement this. And my girls are 3 and 5. So this is our big 5. You brush your teeth, brush your hair, get dressed, make your bed, say your prayers. That's it. And it is, and I know it's going to evolve. Like you were just saying, maybe it's empty the dishwasher. I'm like, ooh, I want that to be in Audrey's big 5. We will evolve to that one day. But I mean, just this morning, the girls came downstairs and Audrey wanted to get right to whatever she was doing. And I said, did you do your big 5 first? You know, and I love being able to say, I love having that be the thing that they have to do because they know that that means they have to get ready for the day, and
Mhm.
that's kind of what their big five is, and it's something they can do on their own. I mean, Millie still needs some help, but I seriously love it.
Polly, do you feel like it feels like nagging as much as it does to tell them to do each task?
Actually, no, because Audrey does do it all by herself, and
Mhm.
I don't have to sit there and like walk them through everything. Oh my gosh, you're
And
totally right.
yeah, and the freedom, like I know Audrey is a strong-willed child, but she has this really sweet spirit and she is very independent. And I think the for children that want to be independent, the choice of which to do first gives them some empowerment. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, this is just a starting point. The big five, mine is already like 15. But the key is that they aren't able to have free time or really make their own choices in their day until they accomplish these things,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then they learn time management on their own.
Yes. It's awesome. Because it's true. Sometimes Audrey takes her sweet freaking time doing it. And I'm like, it's 5 freaking things. It's going to take you 2 seconds. But sometimes it just takes longer, And anyway,
Mhm.
yeah.
But she has to see the difference between it taking forever to get to what she wants, because the thing is she wants to do, for example, my kids, they like to play a game called Roblox. And so that is their number one motivation. So as long as they want to do that, they're motivated to complete
Mm.
their big five. And so, that constant want to do this independent thing is motivation to get the structured thing done. And then they'll learn on their own, like, I can get this done really quick. And some kids are going to learn that faster than others. And really having them figure that out on their own is so much more powerful than like shoving
Mm-hmm.
it down their throat, right? Um,
Yes.
and so this idea came from the desire to want to learn in a family environment. And this can also help with boredom. At the time that we're recording this, we are probably about to enter the most boring summer in the history of ever, because most normal activities are gone because of COVID. In fact, at the time of recording, I think people started to loosen up and start to go on vacation and stuff like that. But it seems like the curve is changing again. And so that's probably going to all come to an end very quickly. But boredom is a thing that we want to address. And by learning in a family environment, which basically means as you go through your day, you're turning things into learning opportunities. This really combats boredom at the core, and it creates connection and closeness within the family unit. And this can help you manage your home. The reason we're talking about it is because home management has just as much to do with keeping them busy and occupied as it does like having a structure.
Mm-hmm.
So an example would be like spell go, let's go, like for little ones. And then they're learning to spell go, but you're also like saying it's time to go, or like cooking something and learning on different levels. So for example, when you're cooking something, you can do measurements and say 2 cups, and like maybe they don't understand cups or like halves or yet, but they can count 1, 2. And then maybe an older child would be helpful in doing like a 3/4 and understanding what that means and the numbers around it. So those are just some examples.
It's also helpful, I think, when it comes to boredom, to keep a list of things you can do when boredom strikes
Mm-hmm.
and things that don't involve a screen. So, because I think a lot of times it's so easy, especially as moms who have businesses,
Mm-hmm.
to just have your kids be in front of the TV. And I totally am guilty of doing that. But so, for example, like just yesterday, I had stayed up a little bit too late and was just off routine. And so I was like, we're going to have a lazy day today, guys. And so I kind of worked in the kitchen, and the girls, I mean, they had Daniel Tiger on, I think, for several hours.
Mm-hmm.
And they were kind of just playing or watching or whatever. But then I realized, like, I do not need to have this on. Like, they can go play in the basement. They can go
Mm-hmm.
play. Like, they do not need a screen. Sometimes I just will like have it on and I'm like, what is the point of this? So it's good to have tasks, things for them to do.
And it saves your bandwidth. So you're not like, oh my gosh, what do I do with
Yes.
them? You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like
yes,
it's already
yes, yes.
chosen. You just select from a list and just helps you like get to the next thing and also give them ideas.
Well, and the thing that's so nice about doing things like the big five and family meetings and, consistently keeping a clean and decluttered space schedule, the thing that's really nice about those is to be successful in your business. Like we talked about the self-restoration. Now we're talking about this home management. Like those two things kind of, you need to have a grip on those before you can really like scale up in your business. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, and this is something we hear from a lot of people, is, you know, they feel this stress and constant pull between, you know, home and work when their work
Mm-hmm.
is at home. so,
Yep.
so, you know, we're sitting here giving, like throwing these ideas out at you to kind of hopefully inspire you on
Mm-hmm.
things that you can do to help, you know, make your life a little bit more, you know, less chaotic and more balanced in terms of managing your home. Because I think especially now as we're recording this with COVID going on, things have felt so stressful and so chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I just want to
so
add to that really quick,
yeah.
Polly. This is the reason why we are opening we're basically launching our community and our business on these premises, because there are going to be two type of women, and you're going to fall in one of these categories. You are starting a business and you're trying to figure out how to add it to your already busy life, or
Mm-hmm.
you have a business and you're seeing that the rest of your life is kind of falling apart, or that you don't know how to scale or take your business to the next level because your house isn't in order, quite literally.
Mm-hmm.
And so we want to serve both of you, but we want to recognize that whether you come to us with a business that is working and maybe thriving and the other things are suffering, or you're wanting to start a business or launch a business amongst the other responsibilities that you have, that we want to support you in both of those. And this is
Mm-hmm.
important regardless. And we can meet you wherever you are. And so I just wanted to frame that and just reinforce why it's valuable that you listen to this episode. And if this is the first episode you've come across, that you go back and listen to episodes 1 through 4, because it is so important to set this foundation and to prepare yourself to be a good steward and avoid, really our main goal is that you would not end the day feeling guilty and that you would feel accomplished every day.
Yes. Um, Absolutely, because it's so hard when you are going about your day and you have mom guilt or you're feeling overwhelmed. When you can go through your day feeling confident and running your day because you freaking rock home management
Mm-hmm.
and rock your, you know, taking care of you. Um, Now, that's not to say that, you know, sometimes things are just going to be chaotic. If you are a young mom who has a nursing baby and like toddlers and it's just chaotic, you know, we already talked about this in another episode, accepting what is, you know. So there's that. But let's segue into the thing everybody hates, which is cleaning the house.
Some people
Except
enjoy it, but
I
just not.
actually love cleaning. It is like therapy to me. I absolutely love cleaning. But it's looming and it never ends. There's always laundry, there's dishes to do every single day, you know, toilets got to be cleaned, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Well, the first thing I would suggest, and if it's a possibility to you, of course, is to outsource and delegate. And we'll talk about this more in time management. But one of those things that is essential for home management as well is finding a way to delegate some of the things, whether it's to your spouse or to a paid helper or something. This is so, so powerful and can bring you relief very, very quickly.
Yes. I mean, let's talk about babysitting. So,
Uh,
how many times have you hired a babysitter and then said, see you, bye? And then you come home and like they got the kids in bed and they're just sitting down watching TV. And so you basically just paid somebody to watch TV in your house. You know what I
every
do with
time.
my babysitters?
Whoa.
I say, here's what I want you to do with my kids.
Oh,
And
wow.
then I want you to, at the end, give me a report of how it went. And then after they're in bed, I want you to fold my laundry. And I put a big pile of clean laundry on my bed. And I come
Wow.
home to folded laundry. And it's amazing.
Polly,
Did I just blow your mind?
like mind blown. Like, you're like, do you ever? And I'm like, yeah, every time. Like, whatever. I'm like so concerned about them not wanting to come back that I'm just like, do whatever you want. Like, I've even had babysitters come and bring their boyfriend. Like, I didn't even care.
Sometimes people just want like a day out, and so a night out, and so they just go. But it's like, this is the problem. You have to make time for date night, and when you're making time for date night, you're taking time away from something else, right? Because we just always have so much to do. So if someone can be doing something for you while you're gone. And so I love it because sometimes I'll give my babysitter like more than she can get done in time, and she'll start to kind of stress out, like, I'm not getting to it, the kids didn't go to bed in time. I'm like, it's seriously fine. But I seriously plan my laundry day around when the babysitter is coming, because it's like, I'll wash it, then date night, bye, she folds my laundry, I get to go on a date. So, but you can also have your babysitter do things for you, like schedule social media posts in your Facebook group, or you could have them do simple things like you could have them package sample packets for your business if you have that, or you could have them do little like clerical things as well that you can train them on.
Well, if they're already working for you, they're willing for sure. So yeah, that's a great idea.
It's like, put your babysitters to work, because you'll also be giving them other skills. You know, you could also teach them house cleaning as well. You know,
it's a blessing to them. It's a blessing to you. Like, it's good.
Yeah. Do it. So, the other thing that I highly recommend is hiring a house cleaner. It's the best money I've ever spent. I have found house cleaners who, they're just other mamas who are kind of looking for some work to do. And so I don't have to pay them as much as like a professional cleaner. So that is something I totally recommend. But if outsourcing is not an option, especially with the cleaning, since obviously that costs money, we kind of recommend just creating a cleaning and chore system. That's something that you can assign at family meetings. Okay. There's tons of these like chore systems on Pinterest, and we actually have a whole system in our course as well that you can look at if that's something you're interested in, kind of an add-on. Yeah, so definitely outsource and delegate.
Love it. Polly,
you are not an octopus. You don't have 8 arms. Okay, you cannot do everything.
And if you're tired, you're probably trying to do everything. So just recognize that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There has to be some restoration and just that feeling of,
yes.
Yeah. And you don't get that unless you delegate. You just don't. You don't, because
when I delegate, okay, for example, let's just talk about our podcast really quick. So I was feeling super stressed and overwhelmed about launching this thing. And I'm like, I actually need help. As I was laying out everything, I was like, I need a social media manager. Like, there's no way this is gonna happen in the time I want it to, with how I want it to happen, unless I have another person helping me. And so I freaking hired a social media manager. Yeah. And guess what? Delegated the entire project. And I was like, oh.
Relief.
Yeah, it's my sister.
I love it. I love it. She's on board, dude. She's on board. Yes. So the last thing we want to cover is date night. It is so important to make time for this. And I feel like sometimes our husbands get the leftovers. I know that this is like cliche, but it's so true. Like the urgent, I was just telling Polly today, sometimes I let the urgent bypass the important. And so making time for date night, whether you want to or not, or even, I mean, can we be real? Like, I don't always look forward to it because there's so many things. Like, I would rather skip it and get something done that's bringing me like dread or like making me worried than actually doing it, because I know I can do it later, or I'll connect with them another time or whatever. But making time for this is a discipline that will pay off long term. And this is not just snuggling up on the couch and watching Netflix or scrolling your phone. Like, this is intentional, intentional, very specific time with your spouse.
Yes. And I mean, as we're saying this, like, we both struggle with consistent date night. It's so easy to put your marriage on the back burner, because when you're a mom, you're like, kids are priority, you know, and it's like, you're trying to it's kind of like, it's like I'm trying to work on my relationship with God, working on that, and then I gotta be a freaking mom all day, got my business, and then it really is like your husband walks in at the end of the day or whatever, you walk into your husband, however it goes, and it's like, and they get the leftovers, you know, it's this crazy time of life right now. And so my husband and I think it was a couple years ago, we actually exchanged some vows and did a little renewal. And before we did that, we went and saw a marriage counselor and asked for just some advice. We're like, we're in these years with littles, with toddlers, and we want advice on how to keep our marriage strong during this time, because like, holy cow, we're like ships passing in the night, and we want to be able to stay connected and all that. And she said, your marriage is like a garden. And she said, you like, you can plant a garden, and you can get away with not touching it every day, but pretty soon it's going to be overthrown with weeds and everything. So with a garden, you have to give it sunshine, you have to weed it, you have to water it, and you have to do it daily for it to look and stay beautiful and well and wonderful and producing. And when you stop weeding for a week, weeds grow, and you can go back and weed them out later, but it gets harder and harder. And so the best thing that she advised to do, and I'm not saying we're perfect at this, but we constantly are checking ourselves on it, is every single day connect for 15 minutes. And whether that is you sit down and you just chat about your day for 15 minutes and then it turns into an hour and maybe a little something like right on, or maybe it is just 15 minutes and then you get back to work. Like my husband's doing a master's right now. I'm starting another business right now. So it's like, sometimes we'll connect for 15 minutes and be like, okay, gotta go, but at least you sit there and connect. And she also recommended a weekly date night and then quarterly overnighters. Now I'm not saying we do this. I'm just telling you what a marriage counselor said as a FYI.
It's a goal.
You can take it to your husband and be like, this marriage counselor said. So, anyway, definitely making time for your spouse, because your spouse is like, your other half, greatest support, so you've got to nurture that relationship, because that's like, your marriage is your rock,
So I love all this advice. I think it's really good, but there is someone out there who's listening to this and is like, I don't have a husband. And so I want to speak to you really quick and let you know that this date night thing is just as important for you. And so whether that's date night with somebody of the opposite sex and like giving yourself permission to date and do that and like feel feminine and sexy or whatever, like that's important. But if it's not a priority in your life right now, make a date night with your best friend. Like, please do
that's a great idea.
Something that is dedicated to you being away from the children and having time to connect with another adult. I think this is so important, and it gives you an opportunity to nurture the relationships that are most important to you. And that could be your mom, it could be your best friend, it could be a guy you're thinking about dating, but either way, like, get pretty, take time to go out and take time away from the children so that they can see that mom prioritizes herself and that that it's okay for you to take time for yourself so that you can have the energy and the confidence that you need to manage your home, manage your business, and love your children well.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so today's intentional practice is to pick one thing that we chatted about today and just kind of start working on it. I know we kind of covered a lot. We gave a ton of different ideas about home management. So just pick one thing and start working on it. And if you want to go all in, then you need to check out our course, right, Nicole?
Yes. Our course is amazing, and it goes through the how of doing all these things that we just talked about in this episode today. And we will give you a step-by-step process and a system of how to do this. This episode is like a fifth of what we go through in our course. So if you're fed up and you want to get your life together now, it's time, girl. Head over to the intentionalmompreneur.com/HH. Wow.
You can't mess this up, Nicole.
I wanted to say the word. So
I know. We're trying not to swear.
Okay, we're trying not to swear, but that's what we're really about. Okay. Head over. I'm going to say it one more time. Head over to theintentionalmompreneur.com/SHIT, no dots, no spaces. It spells, to learn more and get started today.
Yeah, and so in case you didn't really understand that, it was theintentionalmompreneur.com/SHIT. Okay,
Wait,
great.
what? You said it again. Okay. Wow.
You're welcome.
Should
Okay,
I
we have a
re-record
free.
that?
Okay, let's start back from if you want to go all in.
Okay. Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you said that. And you said, right, Nicole?
Yep. So let's then,
Okay.
from there. Okay, ready?
Yes, Polly. Our course goes through the how of doing all these things that we talked about in today's episode. And we are going to give you a step-by-step how-to system on how to get this implemented in your life. This episode is like a fifth of what we go through in our course. So if you're fed up and you want to get your life together, it's time, girl. Head over to this website, theintentionalmompreneur.com/SHIT, the S word, to learn more and to get started today.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have a free gift for you. Head over to our website to get a free download of 15 in-home date night ideas. Okay, seriously, so many fun ones in there. And as we go into this social distancing summer, these are going to be helpful. So you can grab it and the show notes at theintentionalmompreneur.com/5. That's just the number 5, not F5. Okay, Nicole, it's about that time. Let's pray over this mess.
Okay, Lord, thank you so much for this time to come together. And I just pray for the woman who is just struggling in this area. She's got a household that she feels like is not in order, and she has goals and dreams and things that she wants to accomplish. And maybe she's got a business that has caused her to put her home on the back burner, or maybe she's wanting to start a business, but she feels like she's got to have all her ducks in a row first. Either way, I pray for that single mom, that married mom, the one who desires to make a difference in the world. We want to support her and show her how her mission in her home is so important with the people that live there and love her. And so I just pray that she would be encouraged today and that she would walk away with something tangible that she can do. And that if it is your will, that you would guide her and lead her in the path that she needs to be the most successful, most proud, and most accomplished feeling mother and business owner that she can be at the end of the day. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Cue the music.
Yay. Okay. Thank you, YouTube, for joining us. I'm going to end our recording.
All right.
Holly, you want to say goodbye to our YouTube viewers?
Yeah, I was just going to say, did you like how I was like readjusting the whole time? My legs are falling asleep. I'm like, where's my yoga block?
I'm telling you, I didn't move an inch because yoga block.
Your yoga block. Okay, I need to go find it for the next episode.
Okay.
Holy crap. I was like, okay. All right. Goodbye, YouTube.
Okay, bye guys. Thanks for watching. Join us on our next episode where our faces will be shown again.
Again. Come and get it. Oh, I guess all you saw was like my computer screen in my eyes, but
that's okay.
I'm protecting my eyes so I can fall asleep later.
That's what it's about, getting some sleep. All right, bye, Polly.
Bye.
Hey, it's Nicole here, and we want to personally thank you for joining us on today's episode. Now, if you want to take our relationship to the next level, be sure to check out the links in the description. And if you like what you heard, be sure to leave a comment. We love reading your comments. And until next time, we're lifting you up.